Hello students, welcome to biology class. I am your biology teacher Meenakshi. In the last video we discussed the structure and functions of plasma membrane and how the substances move across plasma membrane by two processes, that is diffusion and osmosis. In today's video we will discuss the structure and functions of cell wall, what are the differences between plant cells and animal cells, and the structure and functions of nucleus. Cell wall is a rigid and protective covering that is present outside the plasma membrane. In plants, cell wall is made up of cellulose and it has the following functions. Number one, cell wall provides a definite shape, rigidity and mechanical strength to the plant cells, as the plants cannot move and they have to bear all the natural forces like rains, winds, storms, etc. Number two, cell wall protects internal structures and plasma membrane. Internal structure means the protoplasm and the cell organelle is present in them. Number three, cell wall prevents bursting of the cells when they are placed in hypotonic solution, as when the cells are in hypotonic solution, they gain water and swells up by the process of endosmosis, and if there is excess of intake, cells might burst. This bursting is prevented by cell wall. And the fourth function of cell wall is it is a highly permeable membrane which permits free movements of almost all the substances. This is exactly opposite to plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is selectively permeable, whereas cell wall is highly permeable. The next topic is what are the differences between animal and plant cells. Number one, size. When we compare the size of plant and animal cells are usually smaller in size as compared to plant cells. Shape. Animal cells are usually oval in shape, whereas plant cells are usually rectangular in shape. The third characteristic is cell wall. In plant cells, cell wall is present, whereas in animal cells, cell wall is absent. The fourth characteristic is cytoplasm. In animal cells, the cytoplasm fills the entire space or entire volume of the cell and is dense. Whereas when we talk about plant cells, usually it forms a thin lining and is pushed towards the periphery. Periphery means the boundary of the cell. Why? Because most of the volume of the cell in plants is occupied by the vacuole, which pushes the cytoplasm towards the periphery or the boundary. The next characteristic is nucleus. Again, in animal cells it is present in the center, whereas in plant cells it is usually present at periphery because of the same reason, because the central position is occupied by a large central vacuole. The sixth characteristic is the cell organelle plastids. Plastids are absent in animal cells, whereas they are present in plant cells. Centrosome, again a cell organelle. Centrosomes are present in animal cells, whereas they are absent in plant cells. And the last characteristic is stored food. Students, in animal cells, the unused food is stored in the form of glycogen, whereas in the case of plant cells, the unused food is stored in the form of starch. So these are the basic differences between animal and plant cells. The next topic is the structure and functions of nucleus. Nucleus is called the control center of the cell because all the activities of the cell are controlled by the nucleus. Nucleus is a spherical or oval structure. It means either it is spherical in shape or it is oval in shape. It was discovered by Robert Brown in the year 1831. Generally, when we talk about a cell, usually one nucleus is present per cell, but there might be some cells that are binucleate, means contain two nucleus, or there are some cells that are multinucleate. For example, our voluntary muscles, they have multiple nucleus in them. It means they are multinuclear. And there are some cells that are without nucleus, that do not have a nucleus. For example, RBCs do not have nucleus. Next is, what is the structure of nucleus? A nucleus consists of 4 parts, students. The outer covering of the nucleus, called the nuclear envelope. The jelly-like material, the fluid present in the nucleus, that is called the nucleoplasm. A rounded body present in the nucleus called the nucleus, and a network of thread-like structures called the chromatin network. Let us see the features of these 4 parts one by one. Number 1, nuclear envelope. Nuclear envelope has 2 membranes, the outer membrane and the inner membrane, and these membranes are made up of lipoproteins. As being told you in the earlier video, that lipoproteins means lipids and proteins. Collectively, lipids and proteins are called lipoproteins. Here you can clearly see in the structure that nuclear membrane, this is the inner membrane, this is the outer membrane, 2 membranes. Inner membrane is smooth, whereas outer membrane is continuous with endoplasmic reticulum. Here you can see in the structure, this is the inner membrane, this is smooth, whereas the outer membrane is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum. And endoplasmic reticulum, it could be rough endoplasmic reticulum bearing ribosomes on its surface, or smooth endoplasmic reticulum without ribosomes. The 2 membranes are separated by a space. You can see from the diagram that the 2 membranes are not joined with each other. There is some gap in between the 2 membranes. And the nuclear membrane is perforated. Perforated means it has certain pores which are called the nuclear pores. And what is the function of the nuclear pores? It allows the exchange of material between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Clearly understandable from the diagram that the membrane has certain pores in between. These pores are called nuclear pores. The second part is nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is the fluid that is enclosed by the nuclear membrane. And what does it contain? It contains enzymes, ribosomes, nucleolus, and chromatin network. The third part is nucleolus. Nucleolus is a dense spherical body present within the nucleus. Now, the special feature of this nucleolus is we can see this spherical body only when the cells are at a non-dividing stage. As the cell starts its division, slowly this nucleolus, it degenerates. It means slowly it starts breaking up. Nucleolus is not bounded by any membrane, and it consists of DNA, RNA, proteins and enzymes. Very important function of nucleolus, that synthesis of ribosomes takes place in the nucleolus. The fourth part of the nucleus is chromatin network. Chromatin network is a network of intermingled mass of chromatin threads. जैसे कि उलझे हुए धागों का एक गुच्छा होता है, वैसे ही ये chromatin network न्यूक्लियस के अंदर प्रेजेंट होता है. What it is formed of? It is formed of DNA and proteins. The chromatin network is formed of DNA and protein. We can see this intermingled mass of chromatin thread only in a cell that is at a non-dividing stage. जब cell non-dividing stage पे होता है, तब ही हम इस intermingled, इन उलझे हुए धागों जैसा, गुच्छों जैसा structure हम देख सकते हैं. As the cell starts to divide, these intermingled chromatin threads, they start arranging themselves. ये अपने आप को arrange करना start करते हैं. They start to condense and take rod shaped structures that are called chromosomes. It means chromosomes can be seen in a cell that is at the dividing stage, and the chromatin network can be seen in a cell that is at a non-dividing stage. Now, chromosomes, as we know now, what are they made up of? DNA and proteins. What is DNA? DNA is formed of many small segments or units called genes. And genes are commonly called hereditary unit because all the information of the characteristic of any living organism is present in the genes. So when the genes pass from one generation to another, these characteristics also pass. That is why they are called hereditary units. And next topic is, what are the functions of nucleus? First, it is the control center of all the activities of the cell. Whatever activities are going on within the cell, it is controlled by the nucleus. It is the storehouse of genes, and as being told to just now, concerned with the development and expression of body character, because all the information about the character is present in the genes. Nucleus controls cell division. It helps in the formation of ribosomes, specifically the nucleolus present in the nucleus. And the last function of nucleus is it helps in the transmission of characters from one generation to another because it contains DNA. Students, the assignment related to the topics that we have discussed today are present on the school website. You are required to answer those questions in your biology notebook. In the coming video, we will discuss the cytoplasm and the cell organelles. Thank you very much.